Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, this is a great game. Yeah, I can see you. All right. Nice, nice.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Rodney will be in here in half a second as I get it loaded up. We, of course, got sucked into this game a little bit, so we're going to see if we can get away with streaming us over the top of it, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, we're gonna.
Yeah, we're going to. It's just a matter of what they say.
They ain't gonna care about little us.
No, I don't think so. Oh, there you're over the top of her now. It's got to
Oh yeah.
shrink you down a little bit.
Shrink me down. I'm getting too big.
Get too big for your britches.
Yep.
There we go. You'll be up there on the corner.
About 20 pounds too big for my britches right now.
Yeah. So how you feeling?
Feeling good finally.
Yeah. It's been
Feeling
it's been quite the week of NLL action though. Oh my goodness, that New York game was crazy, and then this game so far. I mean, Halifax came out, and then wow, it's been nonstop.
Oh yeah, this well, like you said, that New York and Rochester game, that was an awesome game. I watched that whole game and that night and I was like the missus went to bed. I'm like, yeah, I'm watching this. I was
Yeah.
like, it's going to overtime, and it's like those guys were gas in that game. That was an awesome game. That might be the number one game of the year now,
Oh.
besides that Bandits game I went to.
Oh yeah. I mean that was good. I mean, but Vince so far tonight has just been amazing.
Yeah, and so is Hill. Hill's there. I mean, it's 10-8 right now, and 7:30 left in the fourth quarter. And look at the shots: 46 Buffalo and Halifax has got 43. I mean, that's a and they're all quality shots
Yeah.
like that one right off the left arm.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, it's been nonstop, and I mean the NLL action all week has just been amazing, really.
Yeah, last weekend every game was great except for one.
Yeah. Yeah, and we know what that is, and I'm hoping they redeem themselves when we get the chance to play them at home. We're gonna have Indigenous Peoples Day Heritage Night at
Yeah. Well,
Albany.
I seen Albany's jerseys for that. Those are nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We'll
But
mute
yeah,
up for the
yeah.
commercials, but yeah, they should be happy we're playing their commercials at least too. But yeah, thanks
Yeah.
anybody for joining us. If there's anybody out there in the chats, we've been kind of rolling here. We apologize for being a little bit late for uh I mean, we were watching the game. I got sucked in, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Oh my goodness, it's 8:30 already. We got to go." But yeah, it's been incredible.
No, it was a this game's great. This is a very good game. And then like we said last week in these games, every game was a great game. Like look at what Vancouver did.
Yeah.
they they looked like a real lacrosse team finally. And like I said, besides just the one game, all the games were really good.
Oh yeah,
Really good.
that was the game that I picked apart in my thing is because I just watched that game and I was like, that was amazing. The way Vancouver played and the way Vancouver's defense handled Saskatchewan, I mean, that was a good showing.
Yeah, like Saskatchewan, like Mark Matthews had his, but all his goals are from way out, and so they were giving him the outside shots. Hope like that was a good game. Like
Yeah.
and Cosmo did. Was it Cosmo? Who was Vancouver's goalie?
Vancouver's goalie was bold.
Oh, Aaron Bold. I
Yeah.
don't know. I think Aaron Cosmo. I'm going way
No,
back.
no. It was bold. Bold played. Yeah, bold played amazing.
He didn't play like he was age. Let's say that much.
No, that was insane. Bold played great. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very good game. And
Yeah, I mean,
Vancouver, they were there to play. They played. They played finally. They showed up.
I tell you, Sean Evans is, I think, one of the most underrated players in the league right now. The way he's been playing with that
Oh
freaking,
yeah.
yeah, with Vancouver, just to make them what they are. I mean, and you can see the difference that one player makes because since he's been there, they have just completely flipped around. And how funny is that? You get rid of that young guy, Mitch Jones, and you would think, Evans is going to be a little step slower, but the emotion he's brought to that team, look at that. Hill's been playing good. I see the commentators were talking about maybe us getting rid of Dougie Jamieson from the Firewolves heading to Halifax, and I would hate to see that happen, but I don't know if they would take him right now. He has not been playing the best. I don't think he's been playing
No,
better than Warren Hill.
oh, not even close. Warren Hill's been streaky, but not as bad as Dougie has. But Dougie Jameson's been not. He's not. This ain't his year. He sometimes you just need to take a year off and recover. I mean, he's just not playing like he should
Yeah, he's not playing like he's
or has.
capable of.
Yeah, easily. And it's what sucks because he is such a great goalie when he's on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's amazing when he's on. It's
Man,
yeah. It's been a
this
rough year
game,
though. This game has
this
been way
game,
better.
they're moving. They're moving. There's no stagnant. Look at that. Look at the saves.
Oh yeah. It's been incredible.
Yeah, this is a fast game.
Yeah.
But back to Dougie. He's just both their goalies are just they're off this year. So I don't know. It's hard to say. Do you want to get rid of them? Yes, no, but
I mean, and when
you're
you
kind of
look at what I don't know, when you look at what Dougie's capable of doing, and Getty even played good the first time when Dougie was out sick, but then I don't know, he came in a couple times, and it has not been a
yeah.
definitely nothing that you're gonna change the franchise over.
No, and it's not like Albany has a bad defense. Like they got a good defense. It's just something's not. They're missing one or two key pieces to that team, and they just need to. Oof, that was a nice shot.
Yeah, it was.
Randy again.
Yes, he is playing good, and I tell you what, Vince has been playing good, but it's hard. He's top-notch player, and he's really showing it. And I mean, Jameson's out there flying around, Bushi, even Benesh is. I mean, they've got him playing it, and Tyson Bell, when he came out and ripped that at the beginning, you were like, oh boy, it's gonna be a long night for Buffalo.
Yeah, and Tyson Bell, he was kind of far out when he ripped that too. It wasn't. He picked that top. It would be top right, top left for a goalie, but that was a nice shot, and that was a transition goal again.
Yeah, I mean, and did you see how hard he shot that? It actually like just hit Vince and forced its way in. Not bad for a guy
Yeah.
who doesn't use shooting strings.
Yep, monster mesh with no shooter strings.
Yeah.
It works. So I mean, it works for you. It works.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it,
Exactly.
There we go. I got the blue squatch over the top now. We should be good. Hopefully,
There you go.
we're incognito now, baby.
Yeah, all I see is blue squash. That's all. I don't see a game.
It's game time, boys. We got Yeti, Utica Yeti in there.
Yep, there we go.
Hello out there, Yeti Nation. Yeah, it's game time, and wow, I was a little nervous. I was hoping, I was like, maybe the game will be done before we're supposed to go live, but then I was like, that's not going to happen, but I figured we'd kind of do this. It's more like a watch party now, baby. If everybody's got it on, they can hear their game, and we're all sitting in here BSing the NLL. And I tell you, Vince has played amazing, and look at Buffalo already has 49 shots, and you talk about they've only got 10 goals. Hill's playing pretty good. And they've been great shots. I mean, how about Tahoka's behind the back there? Oh my goodness. And that was happening right as I was setting everything up. That's why we ended up not going live at 8:30 essentially, as I was like, no, I have to see this replay. Sorry everybody, but yeah, that was
I was waiting for you to message me but I was watching the game and kept looking at my phone, I was like then it showed up that to connect with you, and I kept watching the game. I was like, oh, I better connect. I know, I can't look at it. Like it's 10-9. The shots are pretty close. I mean, they're going back and forth, and
right there, Tyson Bell stopping that one. I mean, and then in these games, it always comes 10-9. Wow, like Paul says out there. But these games, that's always what it comes down to. But I tell you what, Albany, I was really excited for this week until I just looked at the transaction list, and we pulled Ethan Walker and Nick Tchaikovsky, and that is a huge loss for Albany. Tchaikovsky, super underrated defensive player, gets up the floor really well. He might not get a lot of goals, but he starts the offense a lot. for them. He's super underrated, and even bigger than that is going to be Ethan Walker. The offensive rebounds, the loose balls he picks up in the offensive zone, and the way he digs in the corner with a struggling offense, and he really is that playmaker up there. Tanner Thompson and Heine can do it, but he's been very consistent. So really
Yeah,
unfortunate.
he's that little spark of fire that they need, and now he's not there. I mean, why would you do that? It's I don't know. They're I think they're thinking next year already. So
Yeah,
we'll see what happens the
it,
next couple of weeks with them.
yeah, they're both on the injury reserve. So that's probably I don't know, but
Injured reserve.
yeah, and I see Brett Manny's back. They had him on the 10-day holdout, but he's back.
Yeah.
But like we were talking about earlier, they're talking about trading Dougie, and I don't know. Maybe San Diego. I mean, Chiglieri has definitely been. They've been very inconsistent out on that side.
Yeah, they have been
I could
very bad too.
Yeah, I could see something like that happening, but I don't know. Like I said, I'd be really surprised if Halifax made a move for him. And I mean, who's Halifax going to give up, and who does Albany even want in that?
Like really, who would? I don't know. Halifax, I don't think is going to give anybody up. They might give up a bunch of like first round picks, maybe a bunch of
Yeah,
second rounds. That's
yeah,
all. No players though. No players.
yeah. No, they'll give up some future draft picks, but I don't see
Yeah,
them giving up anybody.
like who?
Get
Who
what you
really?
can
Everybody.
for him. Absolutely. And
eh,
Getty is good. So I mean, if they're going to give up somebody, especially Withers, but then you don't look at that because you got Nardella hopefully coming back next year. But I mean, I would trade Dougie for Withers. That face off and the way he plays on defense and can also get up on the floor. I'd probably do that.
That'd be like your next 4 Christmas gifts right there. If you got Weathers for Dougie.
Yeah, I don't see us actually getting it. I was just kind of dreaming a little bit.
Oh yeah, but you never know. I mean, crazier things has happened. You dish out money and a goalie, you never know.
Yeah, especially I mean, because when Dougie is playing, that's the thing though. You do that, basically saying that Getty is going to be your future, and Getty is good, and I think Getty could be, but I don't know. Dougie has proven it time and time again. He might just be in a little bit of a, he might be in a little bit of a slump, and you got to kind of ride with him. He's earned it, but at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
he has earned it.
yeah, it's a tough call, really. I mean, the goalie is such a weird position too because it's so important. You're seeing in so many of these games. So they were talking during I don't know if it was coast to coast or one of the half times, but Christian Del Bianco being the MVP, and I'm pretty sure it's because they watched mine and Owen's show that they started talking about that because now everybody's talking about his 16 assists and all the stuff Owen's been telling me about this guy forever. Del Bianco is a beast back there.
He is a disgusting goalie.
And
I mean, he can make the saves. He can like you said, 16 assists. He's got more assists than a lot of these guys in the league.
yeah, no, he definitely does. It's crazy. And when we looked at him, I think he was 48th. Or no, Tahoka was 51st, and
Oh, that was a nasty save.
yeah, it was. He had 2
Yeah.
less assists than
Then
Tahoka did,
yep.
and it was like, oh my goodness, that's so insane.
Yeah, like Del Bianco, he's he's going to be there forever. They'll never get rid of him unless he really, really like if he gets injured or something drastically happens. But no, he's going to be there for the rest of his life.
Oh yeah, I don't
There's
see
no,
anybody. Yeah, no,
why would you get rid of? Nobody should ever get rid of him.
no, definitely not. Yeah, he's one of those guys that he's sticking around forever.
Oh yeah, especially like he creates instant offense just with his outlets.
Yeah, yeah,
And
and that's like you look at like so who Aaron Bold I think it was played behind him, and he also played behind Matt Vince this summer. So that's a huge thing for Bold. And you look at the way he played out there, and you're like, oh, I could see that. He's got that Del Bianco. He really hits the guy coming out. He's athletic, but
yeah,
yeah, I tell you that New York freaking game. So how about that? So they take it to overtime, and then nobody scores in overtime for 20 minutes. And the fact that they were able to hold that New York offense, it was 25 minutes. New York was on a dry spell.
yeah, it was Ron
Oh
John
my
got
goodness! How did Vince save that? Wow.
he's a good goalie.
Yeah, he is.
He got over there for his age. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good game. But yeah, like you said, what the hell are we talking about? Oh, yeah, Ron John got that tying goal there. It went into overtime, and like that when Brad Gillies scored the game winner for Rochester, that looked like just a tired goal.
Yeah. Well, so
It was nothing special. It was just like put it in. All right, let's get over this.
but we all talk about it all the time with on all the shows between your goalie and your transition guys. You that's really what you see is starting to if you want to win, all these teams' offenses can score goals. Not
Yes.
not all these teams are getting that for transition goals and getting out of it what the rest of those teams do. And then when you see Ron John and he gets that or not Ron John Gillies when he gets that game winner. And I was laughing because it was just a replay of what happened earlier in the game. He just gets the ball, heads down, and beats him. But Hartley, wow, can Hartley play good? And it was like they never seemed to doubt. New York was up in that game, but watching that game, you never really doubted it with Rochester. I mean, it was a little like, oh my goodness, what's going on with Rochester? But they just stayed poised, put it together, and then that.
Yeah.
I mean, look at their defense. I think Rochester's defense and Hartley. I mean, they probably get a little bit more credit because of Hartley, but 25 minutes to hold Jeff Teat in that offense without a goal is pretty impressive.
Well, yeah, and that whole fourth quarter and overtime, they kept giving the ball to Jeff Teat, and he was getting shots off, but not quality shots. He was just getting whatever he could get off, and I think they should have just every other shift they should have switched it to somebody else, not just give it. I mean, he can score at will pretty much, but not that time. You're gassed.
Yeah,
I mean, even
it's exhausting. There's only so
yeah.
much you can do, really.
Oh man. Well, I think this game's over with. Was there?
That's it.
Yeah, it's game.
The Great Dane and Matty Vince do it again.
Yep.
Tahoka's back. I tell you, that's what I take out of this. I mean, Tahoka, you see that behind the back. But, I mean, McCauley, you see Ian McKay, when he scored that first goal, all I could think about is when me and Matt Johnson, the sensei there from the Dojo Lax, we were talking about it. Buffalo's defense could be the offense on so many teams.
Oh, easily. They could go to any other NL team and get out there and go score 2 or 3 goals easily.
Yeah. No problems. It's it's crazy. All right,
very crazy.
We'll shut that off now since we don't need that. We'll use that to pull up some NLL stats and check into with the league. Get out of the things we were mainly talking about before. Like I said, for that game, that New York game to go that deep without either of those offense, I just couldn't believe how well Orleman. I mean, he has been phenomenal too.
Yeah, Orleman. I think that might be one of the things is with New York, their defense is subpar. Where if they had like 1 or 2 more solid defense guys, it'd be a lot better. That's what I think it is. I mean, like I said, Orleman's good, and he's keeping them in games for the first half. And it seems like the second half, they just kind of, fizzle out for some reason.
Yeah, no, that's it. And you got to be able to put a complete game together. And you see in the third quarter there, New York doesn't get a goal at all. 25 minutes, so really you're talking an entire quarter and 5 minutes on either side of it. And even before that, it's just once Rochester got the feel for it, took him a couple minutes, it seemed like, to kind of figure out the D. But how about Brownell for New York? I mean, at the beginning, you had a hat trick from him and Teat. The first 6 goals, you only had 2 players on the team.
Yeah, Brownell, his were out transition goals too.
Yeah,
I was like, and he doesn't. Yeah, he had a hat trick, and it was.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He was good. They're good. That was a great game. That really was. Like it went for a minute there. Like you said, New York went up. Then it was tied, and then they didn't score. Then they went up again in the fourth quarter. They went 4-1 against Rochester. But when you look at the shots on goal, I mean, Rochester had 64 shots on them.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like Orland had 53 saves. That's a lot of saves.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, how about Connor Fields? And Ryan Smith played great in that game as well, I thought. I mean, towards the end, you see he's not, I don't know, he's a big kid. He doesn't have that much energy. He's not built for games like that. But when he's
Yeah, in that
moving,
overtime, he was just out there.
yeah,
He wasn't doing nothing.
he's a monster, man. I remember standing next to him last year. I mean, I was on the opposite side of the plexiglass, but he is a absolute beast of a human. He's just like thick and
Yes.
huge, and yeah, like I said, he's not built for that. But that's what part of what makes him so good is nobody can push him out of the way unless he isn't trying. Like he's just solid. You see him, he blasts everybody. He played phenomenal. But I mean, Ryan Hartley is that player. He is the difference maker in so many of these games. You know, he had 54 or 44 saves, so they had 54
Yeah.
shots on him. He had 44 saves, and yeah, I don't know. That defense, they do get a lot of credit because of Hartley, but you see they pick up a lot of loose balls in front. They do a pretty good job of limiting the possessions.
Yeah. Look at Matt Gilray. He had 13 loose balls, like ground balls. Is like that's 13. That's a lot.
Yeah, and then
Like
when
you know.
you look up and down their roster though, is that's the thing is they're so spread out. So Tyler Halls had 9, and then you had Mitch Ogilvy with 8, 6
Yeah.
with Curtis Knight, Connor Fields. I mean they are a hungry team. Holden Catoni, he took 14 shots. He did not shoot very good. I didn't notice that
No, he
really.
didn't.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that
Yeah,
is.
because even in overtime, he had a nice wide open shot, and he totally missed the net. And it was he's a good shooter, but he had an off night.
Yeah.
And there was that. What are you gonna do? You ran into 2 hot goalies. I mean, you could shoot your
And
best all night, and they're gonna stop them. It don't matter.
that's the thing is when you watch that game, you would have thought it wasn't the best offensive game, but it really was a great offensive game. The goalies just Hartley proved why he's Hartley and he's in contention to. I would have to say he's a huge reason why that team is what they're doing because when you look at, I mean, at the end of the day, when you look at the score of the game, though, it was still 10-11.
Yeah,
Rochester has a beast of an offense, and New York, even though they're not sitting that high in the standings, they have been so close in every game. They haven't had the games like Albany. Like right now, we're kind of all fighting for the bottom of the league with Georgia, New York, and Albany.
yeah,
Philly seems to be on track. They had their losses early, and their 3 wins kind of seem to be moving in the right direction a little more. I feel like.
yeah. They're finding themselves finally.
Yeah, Birdie has been playing amazing, Paul. But yeah, so you get Albany has not played like that, but New York has been. They're very consistently in those games. They just need a couple other guys. You can't rely on Jeff Teat and a defensive guy to get a hat trick every night. I mean, you're gonna hope Jeff
No,
Teat gets
you
it every
can't do
night,
that.
but you can't. They need that defensive guy to get a hat trick, and it's not. It's just I don't know. You can't count on their defensive guys in transition are good, but they're not hat trick a night good. But I mean, how about that?
No.
I still can't get over that Calgary game too. When me and Owen went through that one, that was insane. He was
that
he's like he goes I obviously he goes it didn't end the way I wanted it to, but wow, Vegas is no joke.
that was. I mean, Hannah. Then I don't know. They're starting to click pretty good right now. I
Yeah,
mean,
Hannah looked good, and I tell you, the way they set up that offense there, and the way they play as a team, Paul is right. Bertrand's amazing in that entire.
Bertrand, yeah.
Yeah, it's but they spread out their goals very very well.
Well, like Zach Greer, he went off again a little bit. I mean, he was out there contesting everything. Like Hannah, rookie, but he's starting to
Yeah,
step up his game big time.
Hannah's looking good. Hellier, big part of that offense. He's been making them look good. The
He's a good general out there.
yeah, the defense and the transition for them, the Reinhold, they've been great. And I tell you, Kells, like you only look at 32 saves, but Calgary got a lot of high quality shots. And at one point,
Yes.
like Calgary just took over the second quarter. They woke up and it was just they were on fire and they pulled Del Bianco there and they put in Greer, but little teat is better than no teat. Paul says in the comments.
Yeah, that's true. Can't get wrong with that, Paul. You got that right, Paul.
Absolutely.
I take a tea anytime, no matter what it is.
Don't matter.
In a wheelchair, he'll probably still get 2 or 3 goals.
Oh, I love
Don't
it.
matter.
No.
Oh, he's blind. Okay, get out there.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. So you got that Bertrand though with the 4 assists, looking great. Jack Hanna, the way they set up that offense though is really coming along. Did you see how many brothers were there? There's 4 sets of brothers that were playing in that game. Well, that could have played in that game because the Cornwall brothers were both out hurt.
Yep. Yeah, I did see that. I was like, that's crazy. I would love that. I'd love to see that. Too bad they're all hurt, but
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. I did see that.
Yeah, the Courier brothers, they played amazing still. I mean,
Yeah.
I honestly, Hayden Dixon didn't play great for their offense. I think that game really it was Calgary's offense just wasn't there.
Like Tanner Cook. Tanner Cook can play better.
Yeah, no, Cook definitely could have played better. Josh Courier played good, but when you look at it, so he took 9 shots. He was 1 for 3, and I don't know. You think you would try to make him a bigger part, but like Hayden Dixon, he had a couple of beautiful shots. They bounced a couple off the post.
Can you hear me? Okay, there you are.
Yeah, I got you back. We were only gone for a second.
Okay.
It says reconnection successful. We're even backing up and streaming again. We are beautiful. But yeah, no, Josh Courier played great, and I think the rest of their offense, like Jesse King, he played pretty good. He had a couple goals. He had a couple of big posts.
Yeah. Shane Simpson, like I said, he has transition again.
Yeah. I mean, and Shane, at one point, he was the first 3 goals. I mean, he really took the team and was like, let's go, boys. We need to get moving. So, yeah, he's a huge part of that team. That's the other thing. The Courier brothers get a lot of attention. Shane Simpson, that Del Bianco, Simpson, the way they move the ball up and the knowledge they have usually for how they kind of pull out, and when to go for it and when not to. You see that team's been built for a long time. They've been playing together. Molosky knows what he's doing up there.
Yeah, Molosky, he's no dummy to this game, so he knows what he's doing. He knows the players he's got. And that's why when you watch the game and the guys starting to shoot, those guys are gone. They know that Del Bianco can make that save, and that's why they take off.
Yeah, and that was honestly the biggest thing that it was is you could see Vegas really figured out that transition game, and they started every time they made sure guys were back, and they would have 3 or 4 guys back. I went through the highlights with Owen there, and I made sure I copied that and put the D. But Zach Courier, 12 loose balls. That's always Owen's favorite stat, so I like to shout that out as well. Jesse King had 7. We've got the big outdoor game going tomorrow. So
the Seals and who the hell are they playing now? Seals and I can't remember who's playing tomorrow.
You got San Diego is playing Las Vegas.
Oh, it's Las Vegas outside. Yep.
Yeah. New York is playing Philadelphia in the morning.
Yep. That's an early game too, huh?
Yeah, that kind of threw me for a loop there. I don't know what's going on. And we got a Monday game this week.
Yep, Rock and Wings.
Yeah.
7:00.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting. It's a lot of early going. We're not going to talk about Albany and Georgia. I already had to talk about that a couple times with Paul. We need to get our offense together. Obviously, we'll figure that out.
Zach Miller finally got his first goal of the year.
Yes.
So that he needed that. I know that much. He really needed that.
Yeah.
For Albany, or not Albany, Georgia.
No, I was going to say it wasn't for Albany. It was against Albany. But no, I mean, it was nice to see Patelli get 2 goals. He plays pretty good. I think Q scored more goals. I mean, we might as well talk about it. I'm on it now. But Q scored more goals in this fucking game. And now I'm swearing. I'm so upset. But he scored more goals in this game than he had all last year playing for Albany, I think.
I think you're right.
Pretty close to it.
He scored more goals than Albany did in that game, too.
He definitely scored more goals than Albany did in that game, too. But
that's, what, it's nice to see Georgia finally come along because they're so talented. They finally got a win.
But Georgia's problem hasn't really been their offense. They've been close in a lot of games, too. Their problem is they lost Mikey Poulon. And
Yeah.
and
Dobson looked good.
Dobson does. Dobson looks better. But does Dobson
Yeah.
look better, or is Albany's making Dobson look better?
No, Albany had a few good chances in that game. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I don't know that Heine picked that one corner on him to make Dobson look kind of cheesy, but
Yeah.
it was towards the end of the game. Like, are you really trying your ass off to make a save? No, but
No, I mean he did great. He shut down Kieran McCardle, and Kieran, he's up there with the top of the players. They just they had Albany's number that night. It is what it is.
yeah, that's all it was. It's they had their number, and what are you gonna do? I mean, you soak up, take the loss, move on, forget
Yeah.
about it.
Well, and
Amnesia.
I wondered looking at those two guys heading on the injured list. I'm wondering if they didn't get a little banged up in that game, and
Hmm.
because that was not Albany's best defensive game, and Nishimura still played good. He had his 9 loose balls, and you still saw there was some bright spots for it, but they definitely got a lot to work on.
Yeah, and like I said, their goalie play wasn't great. I mean, kept switching out goalies, and they're just. It's almost like a figuring out year for Albany now because you just want to get through the season, get who you can get in the off season or trade or whatever. So I think Albany's just going to roll with the rest of the year and see what happens. But you never know. You never know. Next thing they could catch fire. Look at Colorado last year or any other team.
Oh yeah, no, they
Panther
could.
City last year.
Yeah, they could if their offense figures it out because they're good. Their defense is good enough to get them, and if Dougie gets back to his form or Getty plays like he can. But one thing I did want to make sure we talked about this year tonight was how about that Mammoth team? I mean, Panther City is legit, but now we're starting to see, Colorado got back on the board, and they got a hat trick from Zed Williams. And I think
Yeah,
that's the
Zeddy
big
had.
part of it is Zeddy looked a little bit more like Zed Williams, and everybody that Mammoth team. But this is Colorado did it last year, so I don't think anybody can be too surprised that Colorado, you know, just decided to wait a little bit, and then all of a sudden Dylan Ward starts playing like Dylan Ward. Zed Williams comes on strong, and now we're talking about how great Colorado is again, and can they get it together because that West is not going to be nearly the team. So last year they were able to kind of take off a little more, and the West wasn't quite as competitive. This year that
And,
West is no joke.
and they had Ryan Lee back too,
Yes.
so that helps a lot. And he had 10 points. First
Yeah.
game back, 10 points. That's ridiculous.
And that's what I was just gonna bring up next was I mean really that's where you start to see that's how important it is. Like your superstars, Dylan Ward was playing a lot more like Dylan Ward, which was huge. But I mean Ryan Lee being out there and with 8 helpers to be that short and then to be able to have that kind of chemistry and finding guys just coming in.
Oh yeah,
Wow, what a player he is.
that no, that's the big reason why they won. Look, it had 10 points. I mean, and they really didn't win that game till Zeddy scored that last goal
Yeah.
and put them up by 2 because it was a close game. But like you said, Dylan Ward was playing like Dylan Ward again. Finally, he had 46 saves. Oh, excuse me, and it was just I don't know that was a greedy game really, and Panther City came back and that really could have went either way, but Colorado grinded it out and got that W for them.
Well, that's what I mean. Is Colorado's defense really showed, and like you said, when Zeddy scored that final goal. But I thought that was a great showing for Panther City too. I mean, it obviously not the showing they want. They know that they can't let you know. You're going to expect these teams to get 3 goal runs. The difference is after
Yeah,
Colorado goes on a 4 goal run, you can't get 1 goal and then let them go on another 4 goal run. You got to break it up a little more than that because really, when you look at that, that's 8 goals. 8-1. It's an 8-1 run from, uh, halfway through the first until almost halfway through the third. So you're talking,
yeah, to the third, yeah.
yeah, 2 quarters worth of play, and it's an 8-1 run. That's too long of an update. Ooh, PBLA update. The Bombers lost to Jim Thorpe 16-12. I know that Cody Kilcoyne was unable to make this week. He had a funeral to attend, but he will be back next week. So I don't know all of what happened with the Bombers, but we are going to try to cover more of the PBLA this week, hopefully on Yeti Talks. I'm going to try to get some more information. We'll get everybody up to date on the PBLA because they played last weekend. They're playing this weekend, and I think they got another couple weekends lined up.
Yeah, they got a couple more weekends left. That's good. At least they're doing something with it.
Yeah.
It just didn't completely fold, you know. But I mean, it's some. I mean, it's only 4 teams, but it's better than no teams.
Well, and how about those guys that refused to give up and just started, just jumped in full tilt and were like, you know what, we're not going to let this happen, and we're going to step up and try to get this going.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, that's good. I'm glad that those guys did that because otherwise it would have looked bad for lacrosse, really.
Well, that and there would be no chance at them coming back next year if
No,
they
not
didn't.
one bit.
If they didn't do now, yeah, it never would have happened.
No.
So
it's good. Clap on those guys. So
yeah, huge shout out to all those guys that have made that work. But yeah, no, like we were talking about with Panther City, it was just too long with not enough offense, and
yeah, they had a dry spell, and that you can't do that. You gotta get something more going, and that when you get a dry spell, or even call a timeout, which they didn't because when I was watching the game, they like I said, Colorado had those couple quick goals, and then I would have called a timeout and just say, "Hey guys, let's we're right there. Let's do this," But
yeah, we're close. Let's get it together. And that's the thing. So when you look at it, it really the third and the fourth quarter was very close for Panther City. It was just that
yeah,
they went that time, too long without being able to score. And I don't care how good your offense or your defense is. I mean, they held Colorado to 2 goals, but you can't score 1 goal a quarter and expect to win a game in the
no, you
in the
can't.
NLL.
No, yeah, that second quarter for Panther City, you get 1 goal.
Yeah, and especially to not make it up in the first quarter to only have 2 and then go to 1, and then so I mean they're down. Yeah, it's a tough road to get into, but Panther City has still got a young offense. They've got some guys there with some playing experience. I mean, Dodds had 4 goals. That's great. One thing Panther
Yeah,
City does really well is Panther City spreads the ball around very well. They're
yeah, they
not.
do. They don't depend on just one guy.
Yeah,
They can get left and right. Now they got Colin Crawford on their team. They can depend on him now. So you got lefties and righties. They can put it on that. And
well,
like I said, they'll find it out. They'll figure it out.
yeah, and Crawford's a beast out there. He's an animal. As you see, the 4 assists. He really I don't know, the assist is a big thing for me because there's so much of that because if you can get that guy open in the front and so much of that is the guy taking the step like he's gonna shoot and
Yep.
and just making the goalie look and I saw so much of that when I was cutting through the games this week is you see everybody's behind the back pass. The main reason it works so well is because they step in like they're shooting, so the goalie has to, he bases up on him or steps out into the
Steps out.
yeah,
Yeah.
steps out onto him.
You just go like this, and then the other guy, boom,
Boom,
you're right
right
there.
behind him, and as the goalie's stepping over, it's a little too much, and that's kind of what happens.
No, like I said, Panther City, they're right there. They Colin Crawford might be that link, just like Vancouver was Sean Evans.
Yeah,
That might be that missing piece they needed, and it's. If
yeah,
it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But right now, it seems like it wants to work for Panther City. They just got to figure out. They just got to tweak it a little bit, and they'll be good.
yeah. And how about that Vancouver game? Let's talk about those guys because I clipped through this game. This was hands down my favorite game of the week until I just watched this Buffalo game tonight. But this game was awesome. Charlene Beatties played great. I mean, Saskatchewan played good, but it just wasn't enough. And again, they had that 1 goal second quarter. And as Saskatchewan, which usually is pretty good defensively in Bouquet, and it's not even that Bouquet played bad. It's just, wow, what Vancouver, what have you been waiting for to show us this?
There, that's the thing. Like you said, Bouquet wasn't playing bad. He was just getting. I mean, they were picking corners on him. Like no goalie in the league would have stopped some of those shots.
No, and so
Like they
many
were
guys wide open out
nice
front.
shots. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just all around. It just was not a good showing defensively for Saskatchewan. They had their moments, but oh my goodness,
Yeah.
did you see
But
Beers
no.
when when Sean Evans ran into him and he just laid him out.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I was like, Sean Evans did what he did what he usually does. He got into their heads,
Oh yeah,
all their heads too. He got
yeah,
into the whole team. They were after him the whole night. Boom, boom. He kept scoring, and I mean, even I was watching it earlier again, the highlights. You could hear he scored that goal at the end. He just caught it on the crease and just whipped it hard as he could into the bottom right. He goes, "Fuck yeah, fuck these guys," he said, and all the rush looked right at him and like, "Oh, we want to fucking kill you." And he did his job that night. He scored goals and got in their heads,
yeah.
and
He had
the
them
rest of the team
all
followed him.
flustered. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He had the whole team flustered. Sean Evans, and I said that when I was doing the breakdown. He had them so mad, and like you don't see him up here on this leaderboard, which is a shame because he still had a hat trick, right? I think.
yeah. But the thing is though, like he's getting Keegan Ball pumped up.
Yeah, he's getting Keegan
And
Ball pumped up. Killian
have
Delmonico.
you watched? Yeah, have you watched games before Sean Evans got there? Keegan Ball scored a goal, and he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Now he's going, yeah, let's go. He is the spark plug that you needed for it, and it's working.
He brought the emotion to that team. He got them
Yes,
fired up again and playing for pride
playing
again.
lacrosse.
Yeah. Yeah, that's you're playing for a reason, and he brought that. And when you look at the way that whole team broke down, now I mean, now when you look at that team and you look at the talent level that they've got, you're like, they actually have a chance if they can get it together, maybe make it on the end. I don't know. The Western Conference is going to be tough. Whoever in the East right now seems wide open because New York can step up and take it. They've been playing great, but the top three teams seem like they're locked up in the East, because we got a three-way tie right now with 8 wins. You got Buffalo, Toronto, and Rochester sitting up there.
Yeah,
And then it's a steep drop off to number 4. And now you've got in the West Coast just an absolute debacle going in throughout the standings. Like it's all a mix.
yeah,
There's nobody that's safe at the top. And I tell you, watching the Warriors play now, Aaron Bold played awesome. Like he looked amazing, and he really was the difference in the game. I mean, 51 saves, and they were all great shots. 51 saves against Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan has got a good offense. No matter what you think about how it performs sometimes, they have a lot of talent out there that can really – I mean, Chase Scanlon got on the board. He's even looking like he's having more fun out there. He only took –
yeah.
And I tell you, Hammer Jackson, when he scored that goal 6 seconds after the other goal, he won the face-off and just ran down and scored right after they pulled Bouquet. You're like, what are you doing? Because they pulled Bouquet out. They put in the other guy, and so the boom, 1-2 on Eric Penn.
1-2, just like that.
And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, why? Yeah, because I get why they do it because it's kind of a momentum thing and whatnot. But Bouquet was playing good. And now you've got that going into your goalie's head. You're kind of blaming him. And there might have been 1 or 2 that Bouquet wanted back, but he was all over the place. That Saskatchewan team plays amazing. The way they move the ball around is second to none. But like you said, I think really it came down to this game. It was Saskatchewan's defense. Sean Evans got up there. He got them all. They didn't even know how to act. They were so mad. They all wanted to beat the shit out of Sean Evans, and that's all they could think about.
Like the guys off ball were looking at Sean Evans like, I can't wait to hit you, and they're not regarding him. They're like, he did his job, went out there, and then like you said, he let him up too. I mean, not only did he get his hit, but he went 3 and 4. He had 7 points, but after he scored, he was right in their face talking shit to them, and that got their whole defense, like all the defense was flustered. Like he took their defense out of the game and put it right on him, and it opened up the floor for everybody else.
Oh yeah. When you look at
and that's awesome.
Yeah, look at the loose balls. They did not have a single defender in double digits for loose balls.
No.
And Mike Messenger is usually that guy to your team. He's getting your offense so flustered that they are taking stupid penalties. And then at one point you just see Sean Evans was like, no, I'm the biggest agitator out here. I don't care who you guys think you are. I can piss everybody off better than anybody else can. And here we go. I mean, and the Rush played good. Like Mark Matthews had a great game. Church had a great game. they just could not get the offense out of some of those guys. But I mean, Church, almost 20 shots on goal and not a single goal. I mean, he had some great
Yeah.
yeah, he had some great assists, but I tell you what, Aaron Bold had his number.
Yeah, 19 shots on goal, and you don't have one.
Yeah, that's
I
tough.
mean, you need to go back, sit down, and rethink your life a little bit.
I don't know about all that,
I,
but you definitely should think about
I
maybe,
would.
maybe not taking 20 shots.
If I had 19 shots and didn't score a goal, I would come home, sit in my man cave, and be like, "So what am I doing in my life this week? Like, do I still play lacrosse, or do I find a new job, or like, how do you not 19? I mean, you could take 19 shots on an NLL goalie, you would get one, not a one. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, he's a great player.
He
He's
is,
a
but
great. I mean, he had 4 assists.
yeah,
I mean,
didn't
assists are just as important as goals, but I mean,
yeah.
that kills your confidence too.
Well, that's the thing is it kills your confidence, and when you see that he's got 4 assists, so he can feed that well. Maybe I don't know. They kind of had it figured out, how he was dishing the ball and kind of isolated them. But Dinsdale, he played great. You would think he would try to get a few more shots. He only he had 2 out of 5. But he lasered his 2, and they were back to back. That was perfect. The first one, almost
And
identical.
Madronic,
Yeah, Madronic played. He had a great game too. I tell you what,
he played very well.
he is. He's got a new fan in me. He was all over the place. The way he's a big off ball guy. He sets those screens hard and then gets back in. He's an off ball movement.
Yes,
He does not
that's
stop.
good.
Like a little weed whacker out there, just the whole time, just boom, 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 boom.
No, that's the guy you need too. And the other players showed that they appreciate what he does to get them open. That's why he went, 3-2.
Yeah,
I mean, he had good goals. I mean, he got open. He did the dirty work for the star players. So Majornic, I think, give it 2 more years, he's going to be one of the top players on this team if he stays there.
oh yeah, yeah. No, I think Saskatchewan they're getting close. Maybe a year away, which you wonder with some of their older players if they're going to be able to hold on to it to maintain it.
Yeah,
But they're young offensive pieces. They just gotta they gotta bring them along a little bit more, and they'll be
yeah, they got time.
yeah they're going to be up towards the top. What it really comes down to Saskatchewan is Bouquet when he's on point and he's playing great.
He's on point.
He is, and I like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the way they do the goalie pulls in box lacrosse, where they just kind of pull them and then put them back
Whatever
in.
you like, yeah.
I was always, my background with hockey was once you pulled the goalie, you basically accepted the fact that goalie's not going back in. Like you take a chance at messing with their head, unless it's like so Calgary did it for basically to get a timeout where they pulled him for a second and then just to get the change, and then they changed the goalie on the fly when they had possession of the offensive zone. So that was like, okay, I get what you're doing. They called him out, and they straight up, you could see that Miloski asked Del Bianco, he's like, what's going on back there? What is, are you not seeing the ball? Are we screening you? What do we need to do different? And that's it was more of a respect thing, and to get the timeout kind of changed the plans a little bit. But most of the time, the way when they pull the goalies, it just makes me, wonder if you're like, ooh, you're going to kind of make that goalie. I don't know. You get
Like, why am I getting pulled? And the goalie can get down on himself real. Like I said, goalies are a different breed of human being. I don't know, if I was a goalie and got pulled, he's like, the coach is going, come on. I'd be like, what for? You can get in your own head just like that. But
yeah,
I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. You never know.
yeah. So New York, Philadelphia is playing this week. This is a big game for the bottom of the East. We're going to pull the standings up real quick so we can kind of look at how it's shaking out. But yeah, So there we still see the top 3 in the East. We got Buffalo, Rochester, Toronto, and Halifax was unable to get the win. So actually now Buffalo pulls up with 9. They'll have 9 wins and
2 losses.
Yeah, but Halifax is not able to move up. So Philadelphia plays New York tomorrow, and if they get another one, now they're within 1 game, one win of Halifax. And Albany needs to beat Georgia tomorrow, or else it's going to be a very Well, although if you are going to lose to a team, Georgia might not be a bad team to lose to because they've only got 2 losses too, so it's not going to cost you as much as far as playoff mentality, how that goes.
Yeah, like I said, like Georgia's 1-7, Albany's 2-7. I mean, you still want that win because
Oh yeah,
it'll
no, you
put you up in the standings. Yeah, and hopefully Philly loses, and when Halifax loses tonight, it makes Albany a little bit more easier to get into playoffs.
that's kind of what I'm looking at is as we're going
Yeah,
down is like who would I rather win right now? Do I want New York to win? I don't know. New York had our number the last time we played them, but so did Philly. So it's like, what are we doing?
like even the top half is like you said in the East is set, but that bottom four, that's still a good match. Like those 4 teams are still trying to fight. Well, the 5 now with Halifax losing tonight, they're still fighting for that last playoff spot. Really, even I mean, well, except for Georgia, 1-7. Not unless they pull off a miracle and win out,
Yeah,
and
but
everybody else loses.
you never know. It really depends on
Yeah,
how the season breaks down. Because you look at like Halifax just played Buffalo. Well, who does Halifax play next week? They play Buffalo again. It's hidden behind
Buffalo
my
again.
head.
Yeah,
So yeah, but they play Buffalo again. So now if they lose again, and then if we're able to beat Toronto next week, now we're moving. Yeah, it all starts with this week. If we can win, we got they just traded. They got Fox from Panther City, and looking through, he's a Canadian guy. He's got skill. He was drafted high. He'll be Fox is going to be a good addition, I think, for Albany to help solidify it, and especially if Ethan Walker's down now, and you're kind of
yeah.
looking at you need that grinder that can get into the corner. Hopefully, Fox is able to do that. But yeah, I think
He is. Fox is a good player.
yeah, he is. But Ethan Walker, man, I think he was honestly the most underrated offensive player. He didn't get a ton of goals, but man, that kid could dig for the ball, and he was always coming up with extra balls in the offense and really setting picks all over the place. He's going to be missed.
Yeah. So like I was saying, like Albany, there's what 8 weeks left in the season.
Yeah.
Those that's 8 games you can win, and all of a sudden they can go 10 and whatever.
Oh yeah,
So it's
no, we
not.
can do it, but we got to start it. Yeah, we got to start right now, and especially
Yeah.
it. So with Toronto and Rochester playing too, that kind of gives everybody a chance to kind of catch up to one of them. I don't
Yeah,
know.
because
That's gonna
one's got to lose.
yeah, that's gonna be interesting how that shakes out. I think honestly that Vegas San Diego game is gonna be great. But Philadelphia is really who I'm curious to watch this weekend because they play New York in the first game and then they play Toronto after. So Toronto's got a doubleheader and Philadelphia's got the doubleheader. They're playing
Yep.
Monday. That's not a game day that normally played. It's going to be interesting. I think it's a big weekend for Philadelphia if they want to start. So if they make up the 2 games, they're
They can go.
tied with
They'll be five and
Halifax.
five. Yeah,
Right,
they're
and that's
five
what I'm
and
saying.
five.
So then they're tied with Halifax now. All of a sudden, you're looking at that Halifax, and you're like, oh, all right,
Yeah.
we're right there.
Yep.
So
So Philly needs to win out this weekend, big time. And in reality, they'll give them a little a hit start on the rest of the season, actually.
yeah,
And I
they
mean,
can change a big way for them. You know, they've
yes,
proved that they've got their offense going. So obviously, I would rather Philadelphia. If they beat New York, I'm probably
good.
rooting for Toronto because if Toronto sits in the third, we're going for the 4th spot already. If we're handling that, then you basically rather that. But I mean, in the West, this Saskatchewan Panther City game is going to be huge as far as the standings go. Because look,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, the West is wow. The West is
They're,
close.
no, that's the top 4 teams is just what one, not even tied 1-2. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and
Like the West is.
Calgary
Yeah.
just went on a 3-game win streak. They were 4-4, and then they were 3-4, and then they went on a 3-game win streak, and they were 7-3, and then they just lost. But
Lost. Yep.
but it was oh my goodness, that was a great game to watch. And I tell you that the Desert Dogs, if they keep going, man, they started off rough, but they really have pulled that team together. They're moving great. Kells is playing amazing. You got Bertrand. It's a lot of positive things for for Vegas right now. They could be the dark horse in the East. I mean, Vancouver's got
Yeah,
themselves some.
that little wild card that gets in there and sneaks in past everybody.
Yeah, but the real question is Vancouver going to keep turning it up? Because Calgary, I think, has really shown. I mean, they can compete with everybody. They've gone out and they have played great. They
Yeah.
beat San Diego. Calgary has played amazing, but I think that Saskatchewan game, like I said, is going to be the big deal. We're going to see how Saskatchewan faces, and that'll decide who's in that third place spot.
You know, it's gonna be funny if Vancouver just wins out and they get the fourth spot and they make it to the finals or something. You know, you never. That's how it happens, though.
It could totally be, and then they'll be going back to
Yeah.
the clips of our first week in the show, and they'll be talking about, oh, look at you idiots saying that Vancouver sucks.
Well, they did. We weren't lying. They were horrible. Absolutely horrible. They're just getting blown out, and not even it wasn't even lacrosse for them. But like I said, I mean, they made the changes they needed to, got rid of the player, brought in a veteran, and look at them. They're tearing it up.
Oh yeah, they look way better now. Yeah, Sean Evans has
Yeah.
done a wonderful job with that team and that whole. Yeah, I don't know. Plus, when Bold plays like that, though, that's if he keeps.
Well, look at they went out. I'm sorry, they went out and got two veterans,
Yeah,
and it showed that it worked.
yeah, it's been it's been a I don't know, it's been an amazing run, and then now one thing we got to start doing more is going through the transactions here.
Yeah, because it's getting to that time now
It's
where
starting to come into
these
clutch. Yeah,
yes, these transactions are going to determine playoffs and whatnot, and who's going to do what in the coming up few weeks.
Dan Dawson's back
There's
on.
so many transactions.
Okay, so they moved Dawick, who actually had a goal a couple weeks ago, but Dawson's back up on the active roster from injury reserve. Good for them. This is where I saw Tchaikovsky's on the injured reserve, which is not good for us. Ethan Walker, like I said, that's a huge. It's Brett Manny's back on the active roster. He played last weekend too, but those other two, that's going to be a big loss. Yeah, so they moved Justin Scott. He had a goal. He was one of the few, I think, had a goal last week, too.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. The Roughnecks placed Keegan Ball on the practice list.
Keegan Bell.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, he doesn't play for them.
No,
Right.
so we're at that was February 28th. So this March 2nd.
We're all past that, so this is all the important
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Ethan Walker, Brett Manny, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Zach Tucci.
But I mean, look at all the stuff Georgia did the week before. Obviously, they got it
Yeah.
figured out that week. Yeah. You see, they moved Barnable back up. He was big for Saskatchewan. He had a pretty good night. He had a bunch of caused turnovers, few loose balls. Barnable was he was a bright spot for him.
Yeah. No, nothing much this week. Just the only one I see is Jesse Gamble.
Yeah.
For the Seals.
Yeah.
Getting on the roster. That he's a good player, so that they'll use him.
Yeah.
So he's playing tomorrow. But other than that, then Jules Heddenberg for the Wolves, they released him. But he didn't do anything anyway.
No, he was on the holdout list. I don't think he ever actually played.
No, I don't think he would do any good anyways. He's not a figure that you need on the bench or on the floor. He's not going to put up goals or stop goals or It's just Jules Heddenberg.
Yeah, Josh.
He's just a name.
Josh Byrne is on the injured reserve list from the active roster, but he hasn't been playing. He came out playing amazing. He got hurt in that one game, and haven't really seen him back. And if I remember right,
Nope.
it was one of those. Didn't he kind of injure himself as he was running? Not injured himself, but it was a non-contact injury.
Non-contact injury, yeah. It's just something stupid. I don't even remember what he did because it was so stupid.
Knee or ankle or something. He twisted something like it. What a
I think it
shame
was
too,
knee.
man. He was on a tear at the beginning of this year. Thankfully for
Yes,
Buffalo,
he was.
they got the Great Dane, so the Great Dane was able to, step up and and kind of take his place. But man, what a year he was off to. It's really unfortunate that he got hurt because. But I mean, if he gets it all figured out, and now that Tahoka's starting to wake up, that could be a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, like I went to the player stats and whatnot, and he was leading everybody, and now he's not even up there anymore. But like Dane Smith he's got 82 points right now, and Jeff Teat's at 79.
Yeah.
Tom Schreiber, Will Malcolm. Look at you got two Panther City guys up at the top there.
Oh yeah, the player stats.
Top five, yeah, top five.
Oh yeah, Panther City. Panther City's no joke. I mean, like I said, what's really impressed me though too with Buffalo is when you look through here, everybody is getting points on that team. You know, Priolo's getting up the floor. Spanger, everybody is moving the ball around. Nick Weiss, you know, a couple goals tonight. Awesome, but
he had a nice goal tonight.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
That was a nice goal.
Look at Great Dane, just all over the place.
He's disgusting.
It's like not even fair. He's like the cheat code right now in the NLL.
He is. I mean, he's just that guy.
Yeah,
he is that guy.
Yeah, they kind of just plug him in and go. Brad McCauley, he got himself in trouble early in the game. He's been a pretty bright spot for Buffalo, but he didn't stick around for too long.
No. No.
Yeah. Or no, that wasn't.
That's it.
No, he was pretty quiet. Yeah. It was
very quiet.
Not good for him. Vince played like Matt Vince. You never have to worry about that.
Nope.
I don't know. Honestly, if you looked at it and you said that, if you told me at the beginning of this game that Halifax was going to hold Buffalo to 10 goals, I would have told you that Halifax had a pretty good chance of winning until they got up into that 14-15 goal range. And then when you look at it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, Buffalo's defense able to completely shut out Halifax. And this is a problem Halifax had last year going down the stretch, is they didn't have those guys that were burying all the goals they needed. You know?
And that's what he went and got Randy to do that. And tonight, Buffalo's defense, I mean, he got that nice goal at the end, but I mean, he needed two more of those.
Yeah, he had 2 goals and 3 assists. So I mean, he's definitely helping on the offense, but they just aren't. I don't know. They're not getting the production from the rest of the guys.
No, but like I said, it's
Benesh though. Maybe he's been playing good. He I tell you what,
age.
He wasn't playing this good in Albany last year. He is playing with a fire. I don't know if he was mad he got traded or what happened there. Maybe that's where he wanted to be, but he has looked really good. Cody's been pretty quiet as far as the goals, but I tell you, he's looked great. He's moving around great out there, and he's kind of stepped back as far as trying to be the guy scoring the goals. Guy. Right, he's more of a playmaker, and I think it's worked out quite well for him. But the problem is you see like Stotts and Shanks just are not Stotts, but Shanks and Bushi just didn't. They've got to have multiple goal games, and when you can, Shanks has
like
one
a game
and Bushi
tonight.
Has one.
Yeah, like a game tonight. That's where Cody should have took over a little bit and took a couple more shots, get the ball more. Because when we were watching the game earlier, he was standing way up top, out of the play pretty much. I'm like, no, that's kind of weird. I don't know why he did that, or I don't know, but I mean, he knows better. He knows he should have got. I guarantee in that locker room, he's probably like, I should have grabbed the ball more, took a couple more shots. I mean, that's coming from me. If that was me, that's what I would have done. It's like, give me that ball. I should have grabbed that ball. I should have went out there and try to get another goal, or but I don't know. I mean, he is definitely older, but the way he's playing lately, he should have been out there trying to get that next goal or win the game. And he wasn't. He was standing way up top, getting off the floor fast. So I don't know. Maybe, like I said, it was a good game. So
yeah, I mean, and credit to Vince, because when you look at this this Halifax team and the guys that are taking the shots, so I mean, you go down through it. Benesh took 8 shots, but he had 3 goals. Benesh is shooting good. Benesh is he's playing really good for them lately. like I said, I get a little mad like when I see him and Q starting to tear it up because they did not have that chemistry or any kind of anywhere near that productivity when they were in Albany last year. But Benesh has been playing great. Bushi though, 6 goals. He's got to get more. Peterson, no goals, 7 shots. I mean Shanks, 7 shots,
Yeah.
1 goal. He had one. Shanks had 1 called back, right? Or was that Bushi?
That was Bushi.
Yeah, Bushi had the 1 called back.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Tarafinko, he plays D, but he's usually good for getting up there. But I mean, Tyson Bell made it up, and he got a transition goal. They kind of needed somebody else to do that. Fennell, not on the board. You know, Armstrong gets an assist, but again, not on the doesn't score a goal. And then you get down. Cody had 1. Tyson had his transition goal, and
Yep.
Randy had his. But the transition was fairly quiet for Halifax outside of Tyson getting up the floor, and it just it showed. I don't know. They need the offensive productivity, and they seem to go out and get the guys. But Bo Hunter, he also was quiet. He only took 2 shots.
Yeah, like where was he tonight?
Honestly, he had a very quiet 2 shots. So I didn't see him out there. Usually, he's a bigger
out
part
there with
of the
Benesh.
action. Yeah,
him and Benesh are working together, but the whole time we were watching, I don't remember seeing him out there at all.
Yeah, I don't either. Actually, I didn't even recognize that he played or had gotten the 2 shots. I was looking to see. I was expecting to see all zeros there, like maybe they pulled him early or something, or he just didn't get a lot of time. But I'm guessing he didn't get a ton of time with the 2 shots on goal.
Yeah,
but it's hard.
I don't know. That could have been the difference right there. Throw him at the end. I don't know. It's different. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know, because when you look too, like Jake Withers did his normal. Graham Hossack played great. You know that the little things. I know Graham doesn't get talked a lot about when because Buffalo. But when you look at this Halifax team and they only allowed Buffalo to score 10 goals, that's a pretty good game. Buffalo's got a lot of firepower. Dane Smith can score 10 goals almost by himself.
Yeah, easily. Like you said, Buffalo scored 10 goals. Buffalo's defense just did better than Halifax's defense. That's all it was.
Yeah.
And I mean, this game could have went either way. It really could have went either way, and it was just Buffalo grinded it out for that win.
Yeah, Buffalo seemed to want it more.
I mean, 10-9, that might be one of the lowest scoring games this year.
It's if Albany's not involved in this.
Close games, I mean.
Oh, close game. Gotcha. I thought you were just talking
not blowouts.
Oh, man, we've been doing this for almost an hour and 10 minutes. All right, let's say goodbye until next week to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And
Thank you.
We appreciate everybody that watches it. Thank you so much for your time. Stay tuned, and we'll see you guys next week. If anybody ever wants to
friends about us.
Yeah. Throw something in the comments and let us know what game you want me to pick apart. We'll get the replays out there. We can talk about any of them, and maybe we'll do more of these watch parties where that's what we could do. What are you doing tomorrow?
I didn't mind that watch party. I don't know.
I'm going to the Albany game is the problem, but that 11:30 a.m. game, if we're not getting buried in snow, maybe we'll jump on here and watch New York and Philadelphia.
All right. Yeah, we're getting hit with snow right now, but...
Oh, you guys are getting it already?
Oh, we're getting smashed right now.
Yeah, it's coming from you guys and coming my way.
Yep, so hurry up and get your way. It's ice. It's an ice storm right now at my house.
Oh, is it really?
Like, I can hear the ice hitting my roof.
Oh, that's not good. I'm not looking forward to that.
And it's been doing that since, 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. Fuck all that.
Yeah. So hopefully it dies down by the time it gets to you.
All right. Well, everybody stay safe.